Hi. Hi, this is Ashima. My main purpose of coming here is for giving you guys the dates for 11 plus entrances. As you know that 11, as some parents were thinking that 11 plus will not be taking place, but that's not the thing now. Hi. 11 plus is taking place and it's happening now. All the websites have given us the dates for 11 plus entrances, and the registration will be starting really soon in May and June, or maybe in July. Some schools start in June, some starts in July, but 11 plus is going ahead. We all had a view that 11 plus will not be taking place, but it is. And if you have joined me live right now, please just try saying a quick hi to me so I can come to know that if you guys have joined me. It's good to have members saying hi. It Just type in hi like this so I can come to know that you guys have joined us in. Hi. So basically, I'm here because I wanted to tell you guys that 11 plus entrances are taking place and the websites have issued dates, and I'll be telling you some dates of the 11 plus entrances. The dates might change up and down, but it's there on the websites now. Firstly, I'll talk about if you are giving Kent. If you're planning to give Kent schools, you have to give, if you're applying for Kent schools, you need to apply through the Kent Council. After filling up the form, you'll be invited for giving the selective test. After giving the test, you will be, uh, after giving the test, if you pass, then only you can write the school's name in your secondary transfer form. So, Kent. When is Kent entrance? Let's talk about Kent entrance. I have written down all the dates for you guys. Basically, the Kent candidates will take the test on Thursday, the 10th of September. So the Kent entrance is have for the people. If you are living in the Kent Council, you will be giving the entrance before anyone else. So Kent Council kids give the exams first, then the other kids. So the Kent Council you'll be giving the test on the 10th of September. That is on a Thursday. You normally, when you give the Kent test, if you are from their council, you have to give the test in your local school. So you'll be giving the test on the 10th of September, and if you are outside the Kent Council, you would be giving the test on the 12th of September, 2020. So you will be giving the test on the 12th of September 2020. That is about Kent. And remember, Kent Council has also issued a letter, and I'll be posting that letter for you guys. The Kent Council says that the test will take place because, as you know, they don't want 11 plus to be they want 11 plus to be tutor free. What are the things required when applying through the council? As I'm planning to move home, and my son is in year 4. I'm going to move soon, but don't know the but due to lockdown, it has been delayed. Yeah, it's absolutely fine. You're in year 4. You have a while uh, to go to shift. But I think so. If you're shifting, the council would ask you for 6 months council tax. That's the thing requirement they need, and address proof of the child. So when you register your child with the GP, they might ask you for the GP some proof like bank details or anything else. They might ask you something like that. And remember, one thing about Kent, I just want to tell you guys, is catchment needed? Yeah, in Kent, that's what I was going to talk about Kent now. Let's talk about Kent. Kent is has a lot of grammar schools. I mean, there are a lot of grammar schools we see are in the catchment of Kent. But Kent does, if you are in the Kent Council, the required marks, what you need for applying for Kent schools will be less than someone applying from outside the catchment. For example, child A lives in the Council of Kent. That child might need only 350 or 60 marks for getting into the best Kent school. But if you're outside the Kent Council, you would be required to get around 380 onwards. This year, the cutoff for Kent schools was the Kent school was really high. It went up because all the kids did really well in Kent. So the marks for Kent went up to 400, 410. It really went really high this year. Uh, yeah, I'll give you Tiffin's date. I just was looking for you guys. I got the dates for the girls. Tiffin girls, your registration will start on the 2nd of June 2020, and you can register online. You need to go online and you need to register through that. And after doing that, the test will take place. The deadline is 1st September 2020, and stage 1 test will take place on the 29th of September. That's for the girls. So that's the update for the girls' school. The girls' school, you normally will take the first entrance. First stage will be on the 29th of September, a week of Monday, and on week of Monday, 12th October, parents will notify if the daughter is invited to stage 2. So on 29th, on the 12th of October, you will be notified that you'll be invited for stage 2 or not. So that's for Tiffin girls. Now let me tell you about Tiffin boys. Also, I got that information. Tiffin boys, your registration will open online. You need to go on the 8th of June 2020 for Tiffin boys for online registration. Remember, all these schools have online registrations. So you will do it. The test will be on your again noon. 1st September is your deadline, and by 24th September, by the date, application should have been received, and the test will take place again on the 29th of September 2020, stage 1. And then it'll be high, and they have also written on the website, if initial day is required, too high number of applicants. They are scheduled on Wednesday 30th. So they have 2 dates booked. One is 29th and one is on 30th. So these are the 2 dates you have. For Wilmington, for Croydon schools, also I have the dates for the Croydon schools. For Croydon schools, the selective test will take place. Your selective test will take place on the 14th September 2020, and the second test will take place on 2nd October. So they will invite you for the second test. So Wilmington and Croydon, you have to apply. There's one common entrance you have, and after you pass that common entrance, then only you are invited for stage 2. And after that, it's normally when you're invited for stage 2, you give the test, then they will let you know that you are eligible. Sorry, it's not eligible. If you're suitable for the girls' school of the Wilson, if you're a girl, then they'll tell you for non-such girls' schools, or you will get Wellington Grammar School. And there's one thing they will never ever tell you that your child is not selective for a grammar. It's not selective for a grammar school. They will say that your child is being selective for a high school. High school means that's the normal school. So if your child doesn't pass the grammar school, you should never tell your child that you have not passed, that's not good, or something like this, because it's really bad for the children also, because they're trying so hard. And the dates for Bexley, if you're giving Bexley, you have the exam is on the 15th or 16th of September for the Bexley schools. That's for the Bexley. And if you are giving St. Olives, The first stage is on the 18th of September, and then the second stage, they'll invite you for the second stage. That's on the 13th of November. That's for stage 2. And if you're looking for QE, the QE entrance is on the 17th of September 2020. So that's for QE boys. For H. Barnett, the entrance is will take place on Thursday, the 3rd of September 2020. And if your daughter is top 300, then you'll be invited for stage 2. And they have not written the date till now. They have told the date is in the first week of October, so could be any day in first week of October. So this is all the dates what I have. I've given you for Q, and for Essex schools, Essex grammar schools, the website does not give you any information, but I say that you should keep looking at the website, because they might tell you in the coming days, maybe in May or something, they might tell you about when the entrances will take place. The website just tells us that because of the lockdown, we have no information. The website is not being updated. So wait for the website to be updated. And Megha is asking, what are the best grammar schools in Kent? Kent is divided into different areas. If you're looking for areas near Tunbridge Well, that side, I would go for Judd Grammar School is really good. Skinner's is really good. And if you're and Tunbridge Well for girls and boys is there, that's really good. Tunbridge and Tonbridge, these are the areas which are really posh and they have really good grammar schools there. And if you're looking to ship for Kent, I think that's the best area you should move in. And if you're looking for other side, which you can apply for Bexley also and Kent also, then I would say you should go for Trafford Grammar School, Willington Grammar School. These are really good schools. And for Bexley, you have Beth Grammar School. That's also really good. In Bexley schools, you have to go according to the mileage and the marks. And there's something really good in Bexley. In Bexley, you can also apply to any grammar school of Bexley Bexley schools. If your child is top 180, if you think your child can get top 180, then you should think about applying for that. Do you have any information of Southern Boys? I told you about their dates. They have the same entrance. In Southern, you need to have the same entrance, and the entrance will take place. It's on the 14th of September 2020, and the second stage will be on 2nd October. So mainly you have one entrance for Croydon schools, and after you pass that entrance, you'll be invited for entrances for Wilson, Willington, whatever school you have for these schools. And also in Bexley, the best thing is about Bexley schools, I told you mileage. In Kent, it also goes to now all these schools which are selective. You have to look at the school what you're applying, it's selective or super selective. If you're looking for a school which is super selective, that school will not have any mileage, will only go with the highest marks. And if you guys are thinking what is selective and super selective, selective and super selective is selective school is which goes through the mileage and marks. Super selective is which just goes through the marks, not mileage, nothing. Like QE, St. Olives, these are the schools in our country which are super selective. Anybody around England can apply to these schools. I'm looking for all-rounder girls' school. Any suggestions? There are a lot of girls' schools, but I will be able to tell you about my area because I live in Bromley side. In our area, if I'm staying here, I would go for Newstead. Newstead is a really good school, and it's one of the top grammar schools. H. Barnett is really good. And again, H. Barnett has started doing mileage. You have to look into, if you come in there, they go according to the highest marks plus the mileage, same like Newstead. Newstead also has mileage. Newstead goes up to 9 miles. So if your daughter is really good in verbal, not verbal, you should try for these schools. At Barnet has also started non-verbal now. First, they used to only have English and maths. They never used to have these tests. They never used to have any other test like what they have it now. And always remember, stage one of all the schools you are applying, not all the schools have stage one or stage two. But if you are applying for super selective schools, they might have stage one and stage two. Stage one normally is multiple choice, so you will only have maths and verbal. And stage two is normally standard form. Standard form means you have to work it out. You're given marks for working out in maths. In English, you are given creative writing, and you're given other topics also in English. You have a comprehension. You might have a letter writing. Sorry. You might have a letter writing, or you may have, there are two types of comprehensions in that. You might get fiction, non-fiction, any of these things. So I'm thinking if I've given you information about all the school dates. Yes, I have given you all the school dates. I'll be also be writing the dates for you guys. If you want to look at the dates, keep looking because we have written the dates in our YouTube channel. I have given the link for all the dates there, so you can have a look at all the dates. And we will be posting in the group for you guys when the registration begins. So you can click on that link, and if you are new to these schools and things, you don't know how to apply to these schools, you could just click on these links and get into how to register. It's really easy. And if you're applying to Kent or any other council, you have to create a username and a password. This is must. They always prefer you to do that. If you do that, it will be they will normally give you the result. The result is normally given you by email. The result normally comes in October. So if you're applying to any of the grammar schools, your result will come in October. And the last date for filling up your secondary form is 31st of October. Don't miss that out. And remember that don't write in that forms, don't write about any school your child has not passed. Will you help for independent schools also? Yes, I do. Independent schools are mainly, they come late. The entrances are in November and January. And the filling of forms is normally after giving the entrances. That's the reason when some parents, when they give the grammar plus 11 plus for grammar schools, and they think that the child has not done well, they go for the second option. If they can get scholarships and things like that, they apply for independent schools. Independent schools are also called private schools. I mean, if some of you are getting confused by what does independent school means, so that's what I'm telling you guys what independent school means. But remember that applying for grammar schools is absolutely free. If you're applying for independent schools or private schools, you have to pay. It's £100 per school. So you have to pay £100 fees per school. Only apply to private schools if you think that you can afford them, because the fees are really, really high in these schools. And if you can apply for scholarships, these schools give you really good scholarships. So if you think your child can get scholarships and you're eligible for that, or if you're on any benefits, like if you're on state benefits, and one of your partner is not earning well, you can apply to private schools and you can get up to 80% of scholarship. All the schools provide you scholarships. All the private schools, if you look on their website, they have music scholarship, but you have separate entrances for that. There's music on scholarship, there is study scholarship, there is sports scholarship. So there are different types of scholarships. I can't tell you about each and every one. You have to look at the school website, because the school website will be able to tell you guys about each and every scholarship you can apply for independent schools. There's any other question you guys need to ask me? And also, please feel free, like 11 plus is, as you know, it's going to happen now. So please feel free to ask me as many questions you want. And we have also started on our Facebook page group, sorry, not page. In our Facebook group, we have started live sessions every day, Monday to Wednesday, for helping the children for 11 plus. And all, I have a lot of children now who attend them. There are around 50, 60 children every week who attend these sessions. And there's one thing we like to do now, because all the children are struggling in synonyms and antonyms. So we have thought about having one extra session on Thursday. That will be, because I don't want to do in Facebook, because the sessions normally something happens to the Facebook group when the kids write so much comments, the page doesn't work and they can't hear me. Sometimes it gets stuck. So because of that, we are planning that we might do one session in YouTube for synonyms and antonyms. We can give them around 10 words each week on Thursday for them to tell me the meaning for these words, because all of them are always complaining that they get stuck on synonyms and antonyms, and parents keep asking me and members keep asking me, what should we do for comprehension? Tell us something. What should we do? You interested for that? Yeah, I'll do that from next week. But the thing is, I also have my own tuition. Because as we have gone online now, so I might take time for that, and I'll do that. Let me answer some of your questions now. My son is in year 4. Do I need to register this year for 11 plus? This year I am new to, I'm not sure. No, not this year. If your child is in year 4, you will register next year. Remember, for registering for, okay, let me take you to the process of registering for 11 plus entrances. 11 plus entrances is normally taken when your child is in year 6. So all the children in year 5, in September, they all will go to year 6. When they go to year 6, then they will give the entrances first. The entrances are normally taken place in September. Maximum stage 2 is taken in October. Yeah. So after taking the entrances, you are given the result, your child has passed or not. Secondary form is, you can register the school your child has passed in the secondary form till 31st of October. So for example, if your child has not passed, if your child has given Bexley and your child has not passed Bexley, you cannot write your child's name in Bexley secondary school form. In Bexley school. You cannot write in your secondary school form Bexley. The registration forms for secondary transfer can be, you only have to do it through your own council website. For example, my council is Bromley, I would go to Bromley website. I will go to selective secondary form. I'll click on that. I'll make an account and I will fill up that form. In that form, you can fill up any grammar schools your child has passed. That grammar school could not be in your area also. Like kids can also apply to Bexley grammar schools through their council website, through their forms. So you have to fill up the form. If your child is in year 4, you will fill up the form in 2021. And your child will get secondary school in 2022. So it's 1 year process. That is the reason what we guys were thinking that like GCSEs got cancelled, 11 plus will also get cancelled. But that's not true, because GCSE's result tells you what your child is going to do in September. But 11 plus takes almost a year for the schools to register you with all this process. If they also get delayed, which are chances, there might be some chances for them to get delayed, they won't be delayed before November. I mean, you could have it latest by November. That's one of the possibility, but I don't think so that will happen. because all the schools have published the dates of registration for registering the forms. And you all, and one thing also, some members keep asking, when can we apply for registration for grammar schools entrances? You have to go through the each council website or school website. If you're going for super selective schools like St. Olive's, H. Barnett, all these schools, you have to do it through your school's website. The school have their own website. The school have the website. You need to click on that, register, and then you have to register for it. And please don't apply. I know grammar schools entrances are free, but please don't apply to any grammar school you think your child can't get into. Like if you're living in Essex, don't apply to a grammar school which is in Bromley, like St. Olive's. Don't do that, because you should also think about, be practical, think how much you want your child to travel, because they are only 11-year-old kids. You don't want an 11-year-old kid to travel 2 hours to reach school, get tired, come back home again tired. So you have to think practical before applying to the grammar schools. The best option, what we keep telling the parents is, take your child to the open evenings. I don't know with this year when the open evenings or open days will happen, but they happen in June, July. That's the time they normally happens before the entrances. So try taking your child in the entrances, open days, and let your child decide if your child wants to apply to that school or not. And one more thing, all the grammar schools, of all the schools what you applying your child for, all the schools are good for something or the other. The website will tell you guys. You should always try that. You should always take the child for open days, and also look at the school website, because some schools are good in something or the other. And if you look at the school websites, they tell you where the school specialize for. And I would ask my child to look at the school before I'm applying for the school, because some parents, last year we had a member who said, how many grammar schools can I apply for? You can apply for more than 100 grammar schools. But again, as a parent, can you send your child in a grammar school which is really, really far away from you? Think about it before applying. And one thing, if you think that you won't be able to attend a entrance you have filled up the form for, please, 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 this is what the parents never do. Please, 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 go to the website, write them an email, and tell them that you won't be able to give the entrance, because there are a lot of resources which the government has used to prepare for each and every child. Remember, because they are free, that's why it's our duty to tell them if we cannot attend. I have someone asking me about a register grammar school. I don't have information about that, but I can still look for you and I can reply to you after this live, and I'll try looking for you. Now I can answer any of your questions. I've spoken a lot now. If any of you want to ask anything, just type in. I'll be able to answer you guys. You're welcome. If there's anything you want to ask, please feel free to ask. I think I've answered everything what's written here. There's any other thing, and if you have missed any of the live sessions what I have with the children, because we have done around 12 11 plus home learning lessons with them every day, Monday to Wednesday we have done. If you have missed any of them, you might find them in our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll find plus papers, everything what we have done with the kids in these lock time period. You can find everything there. I'm here to answer now. If you have any other questions, please feel free to ask me, because I'll be able to answer you guys now. It's time for your questions now. I'll be putting the dates. I have put the dates. I'll try to put here also in Facebook. I have put all the dates about all the grammar schools in our YouTube channel. If you log into our YouTube channel and just look for 11 plus selective test dates, you'll find all the dates. And we have also attached the letter from the Kent Council, which says that the test will go forward, because they believe that 11 plus should be tutor free, and they think that the children are doing a lot of work, and they have also given you the websites for which you can prepare your child for 11 plus. They think that 11 plus should go ahead, and there's nothing which can stop them. But end of the day, we don't know what's going to happen. So we should keep looking at the school website, the council website, to see that when these things will take place. The YouTube channel is in the same name. If you look at 11 ambitious learning tuition, is on the name of an ambitious learning tuition. I will put the link for you guys to have a look after the test, and I'll put these dates, what I have here, all these dates. So if there are any dates you think are we have missed, I'll keep writing that. And the best thing for the lockdown period is that try working little for 11 plus, because they are in September, and luckily these kids they have so much time now to prepare. I know it's lucky in one way and it's unlucky in the other way that we guys are in the house. But as parents, you can spend more time with them. There's more bonding. So you can work on more of synonyms, antonyms, all these things, which the parents normally keep till the end. And we'll be back again with these kids. I'm always back with them. And we'll be back with them again on Monday with our 11 plus classes, lockdown classes. And if any topics you want us to cover for 11 plus with your children, please let me know. I'll do that for you. In your experience, tutoring children with sort of percentage marks are usually enough to give entry to grammar schools? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Tutoring is the only thing you can do for 11 plus. And 11 plus percentage depends on each school, and the test results are mainly, they don't work like that. They see the percentage, how many children take the test, how much is the highest score, and after taking up the percentage of the highest score, they make the passing rates, how many kids should be considered selective or non-selective. Children can be educated for 11 plus without tutoring also. I know so many children in our group itself who don't get tutored and they pass 11 plus. Because only if you think that your child can pass 11 plus, going to your tutor once in a week, doing the tutor homework, and then you blame the tutors that my child didn't pass 11 plus. 11 plus is both, I mean, the tutor and the parent should work together. And when, like me myself, be the mother and a tutor, I always tell the parents that if you're coming to me, don't expect miracles to happen, because miracles can't happen in 11 plus. You as parent have to work equally with the tutor, and you have to see what your child is doing in the tuition. Like some parents like going for really high tutors, really high centers, because looking at how much is the passing rate. A tutor getting a child in a super selective school, passing rate would be really high, but that tutor might not work for you. There are tutors here who take around 100 kids, and they have, obviously, if you take 100 kids, out of that half the kids might will definitely pass, and your uh what do you say, your center will do really well. But that doesn't mean that that center will suit your child. You have to look at what's good for your child. You need to work with your child. There are so many things a tutor can't work, like synonyms, antonyms, comprehensions. These are the things, as parents, you need to work with your child. And just don't go for tutor centers which you think have good results. Because I know there are some tutor centers who only take kids with, they have a criteria, only kids with the top table can get in to our tuition. If a tutor is having that condition that only the top table will get in to our tuition, I don't know how would that work with your child. So you have to make sure about what tutors you're choosing. Don't only go for the feedback from your friends. Try a class, see how the class is for your child. Is the tutor working for your child, or the tutor is not working for your child? And there's another thing what parents keep doing is like they copy their friends a lot. Like if a friend is doing a book and your child is not done that book, you will force your child to do that book. That's also not fair on children. Don't copy your friends in things like that. Let your child work as his pace. And don't compare like, oh, my child has doesn't know how to do algebra, but her friend knows how to do algebra. What should I do now? Because if you do like this, it's not good for the kids also. Let your child work at his pace. If any of you have, how much work per day 11 plus preparation now during lockdown? It really depends on your child, because as I know, children are not so focused these days. They are thinking what's going around, and it's absolutely normal for a 11 year old 10-year or 11-year-old child to think what's happening around the world. But I think so you could do at least 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the evening. That's the maximum your child can do these days, or it depends on each child. But please don't wake your child 6 in the morning to prepare for 11 plus. We would never recommend that. And it's not even practical because they are not giving GCSEs. I keep saying that when you go to a doctor, the doctor will, or you go for an interview or anything, they will never ask you, have you passed to 11 plus? Whenever we go for interviews and things like that, they always ask for our GCSE results. They don't even ask for, are you from a grammar school? I'll give you this job. I've never seen that happens. So if your child does not pass 11 plus, still your child has a chances of going to a good university, getting a good job, and earning as much same as a child from a grammar school. So there's any other question you guys need to ask, because I'll be closing now this live video now. I'll be making a schedule for you guys, what topics we have covered in our lockdown sessions and what topics we might be covering in the coming weeks till the lockdown is there. And please let me know what topics you think your child is struggling on and you want us to cover that topic. I'll definitely try to cover that topics, but I'm sure, because I've seen all the children struggling in synonyms and antonyms, and whenever we have the live sessions with them, the only thing they say is, please Ashima, no comprehension. So this tells me that they all hate comprehensions. So we might do something which doesn't involve comprehension as such, but might involve some synonyms or antonyms. And because the Facebook normally gets cut down or something when I try telling them something, so I might do that synonyms and antonyms in YouTube for them. I'll do a YouTube session for every Thursday for them. I'll give them around 10, 12 words every week. I'll teach them, basically, not give them. I'll teach them around 12 words every week for synonyms and antonyms so they can learn them during this time. I'll try to help you guys as much as I can. But please don't try spending lots and lots of money on books, on tutors, and things like that. Spend limited under your control, and don't try to shift houses. If your child is really good, your child will get into any grammar school if your child is capable of doing that. Because you should tell your child to work hard and pass, and not tell your child, give them an option. If you don't get high marks, I'll shift. If you give that option to your child from the beginning, they won't do well. There should be an option for you guys as parents, but don't tell your child, I'm doing this so you get into a good grammar school. They should not be told that. And so I have spoken a lot now. So I wish you guys have a lovely evening now. And if any other question you guys need to ask me, just keep posting in the group. I'll be there to help you guys. And I'll see you guys. I'll see the children with the parents back on Monday now to our live sessions. Bye.